to KUDOS Latte podcast and KUDOS Miracles. And once again, I'm your host, Dr. Supriya, bringing you a very versatile, a very talented, and a very, very gracious guest today. And I know everybody's so curious that who is that great personality whom they want to see and whom they want to get a lot of inspiration today. And if you want to know who is that guest, then you have to check out this. Here is my guest. Oh, welcome to the show. And it's been a great privilege and honor for me to host you.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I've really been looking forward to this.
Well, look, as I said earlier in the starting of this video, that this is going to be super awesome journey. And I'm so curious, along with my global audience, and they all want to know who is actually Oak and what's his life journey. So without any delay, without any pause, let's start our journey.
Yeah, so I grew up in northern Illinois, a small little farm town, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it hadn't been for the Army. I joined the Army right out of high school, went to a very small high school, had like 35, 40 people graduate from my school, and played baseball, basketball, football in high school. I was student government president, class president, and I always knew I wanted to be a leader of some type. And so I went into the Army, went to the United States Military Academy. I got my commission through Army ROTC, spent 23 years on active duty as a combat arms officer in the infantry and armor, and got to do some amazing things and go to some amazing places all around the world. Been in 45 countries on 5 continents, and would never have been able to do that if I hadn't been in the Army. And really what I do today, the Army led me to that. My last duty assignment on active duty, I ran an Army ROTC program. So I was responsible for commissioning that next generation of leaders, not only for the Army, but for the nation. And then ran a food bank for a couple years when I retired from the Army. And then I've been recruiting for Army ROTC for the last 13 years, just retired from that job. Wrote my book on leadership, published it in February 2021. And now I just go around talking about leadership and success to conferences, universities, companies, whoever wants to have me come talk to them about what good leadership looks like and what it takes to be a successful person.
Wow. Oh, this is called crisp, short, and powerful journey. And I loved your leadership journey when you said it was like going to the colleges and delivering your great things. Well, this was really great when we are talking about leadership. So many people are having different definitions of leadership, but the true leadership, what I believe you have given from your life journey, that's very, very important. Instead of grasping in the definition in the books, in the audios, or in the videos. So this is called leadership journey, Oak, and I can see very well from your life journey, and this is so inspiring. Well, moving to this journey with Oak, I am sure this journey of leadership is incomplete if I will not ask your greatest challenges which you had faced in your life. So Oak, straight the question, what were your challenges in life? I mean, one challenge that really shook you up, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Yeah. So I'm a huge believer that as a leader, as a person, but certainly as a leader, integrity is utmost. Integrity and character. And I had a time in my career, early on in my career, where that was tested. And I had to stand up for what I believed in. And when I did, I mean, my senior boss made it very clear that if I did what I was going to do, which I thought was absolutely right, and I would do it again today, even knowing the consequences. He made it very clear it would impact my career. And I said, okay, I'm still doing it because I have to be able to look in the mirror every morning and like who's looking back at me. And to me, that you can compromise a lot of things and compromise on some things, but your integrity and your character are those that you can't compromise on. And so I did. There was a case where I was going to kick a soldier out of the Army who had been in the Army for 17 years doing horrible things. And my boss told me, look, he deserves to retire. He's had 17 years in the Army. I said, nobody deserves to retire. I said, that you got to earn that. And he hasn't earned it. And so he told me, if you do this, it will reflect on your evaluation report. And I said, okay. And I did it. And he was honest. It reflected on my evaluation report. And one of the reasons I retired a lieutenant colonel rather than a colonel or wherever I would have ended up. But that's okay, because I like who I look at every morning in the mirror when I shave and and that's important. You got to be true to yourself. And I think that personal courage is one of those things. Courage has two parts. It has the physical part, and most people don't have to deal with the physical part, and that's a good thing. But then there's also the moral part, the mental part that I think all of us have to deal with. And to have that really defines who you are as a person.
Wow, Oak. Really, when we are talking about challenges, I mean, for some people, challenges are mere problems. And for some, these challenges, you can say, will make you or either break you. So in your case, Oak, I really appreciate the way you said about your integrity and your character really plays a very important role in your life. And in the morning, when you see your mirror, you should say, yes, this is the person who can challenge me, and this is the person who can break me or shake me. So in your case, I really loved one thing more about your physical courage and your mental courage. And if you're really strong in your mental strength, then I am sure nobody can break you. And even though if they are trying to break you, they can't touch you and they can't really break your mental ability, your mental strength. And that's the biggest courage, what I can see, in your life journey. So hats off to you.
We all have fears. Yeah. And anybody who tells you that they don't have fears is lying. I mean, we all have fears. And we just got to have that mental courage to overcome those fears, whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success. And I've seen people who are afraid of being successful because they didn't want more responsibility. They didn't want what comes with being successful. And we just got to have that mental courage to overcome those fears, because that's what makes us who we are. I saw a quote one time that I absolutely believe, and it said, fear has killed more dreams than failure ever did. And I absolutely believe that. Most people don't reach their potential because they're afraid of something. You got to overcome that.
And I think the biggest fear is your own self, which you make presumptions about, that you can't do this, or this is very out of my reach. And that's the only thing. If you want to really improve in your life, you have to first remove your fear, and the fear can be removed only by your mental strength. No matter you're a bodybuilder, no matter whatever you are, but if you have a very solid mental strength, you can do anything in this world. So Oak, you are giving a lot of inspirations to all the people who are watching my global audience. Move on with courage. Move on in your life fearless. And your fearless is you can make yourself. Nobody can make you. If you are fearless from inside, only and only it's going to profit you. And also, of course, it will impact your ambience too. So thank you so much, Oak, for this brilliant answer. And it's really giving a lot of inspiration to me also. That's great. Awesome one. Well, Oak, we all know you are a leadership legacy, and we are talking about leaderships and everything today. Now, this part of your podcast, I would love to know, along with my audience, what is your exactly profession, and you are a coach, and have so many qualities. So let's talk about your qualities, your coaching, your professional things, and how people can leverage from your great work.
Yeah. So, like I said, at this point in my life, I've had 40 years of leadership experience, and that's been in combat, peacekeeping operations, disaster relief operations, in the boardroom, nonprofit, um, and to me, it's all about service. Leadership is about service, selfless service, in my opinion. It's not about you, and yet it's all about you. It's not about the title you get or the privileges you get, or that you get better pay and get to live in a nicer house or drive a nicer car. Okay, leaders get those things. Good. If that's the only reason you want to be the leader, then go do something else, because you're not going to be a good one. It's all about you and how you treat and empower the people that you have the privilege to lead. And it is a privilege, and how you run that organization that you've been assigned as the leader. And to me, leadership is all about, and what I'm doing now is trying to convince people in my talks that if you understand that leadership is about people and trust, you can lead any organization. I don't care what it is, because that's what leadership is about: people and trust. And I proved that. I mean, I did 23 years as a combat arms officer in the Army, where my job was to fight wars and win battles, and then I ran a food bank for 2 years. You don't get any difference than that. That's a 180-degree difference, you know.
Awesome.
And yet, when I took over the food bank, it covered 52 counties along the Gulf states of America, very large food bank. And when I took over, we were handing out 1.2 million pounds of food a year. When I handed it off, we were handing out 3.8 million pounds of food. So if you understand it's about people and trust, you can do anything as a leader. And that's really what I'm trying to do now, is trying to get out there and pass on some of these principles that I learned over the last 40 years to that next generation of leaders, to the current generation, but especially to that next generation. I never turn down a chance to talk to young men and women, because they are our future, and we are going to reap what we sow. If we don't do a good job helping to develop, create, mentor, coach that next generation of leaders, then we deserve everything we get. And so that's really what I try to do these days. And like I was telling you before the show, I really got 4 ways to do that. I've got my keynote talks, where I go around and talk to audiences. I've got my book. I've got my social media, which is where we met on LinkedIn. And I've got podcasts. And I just try to use all 4 of those media as much as I can to get my message out there about servant leadership.
Wow, this is so great. Oh, here I would love to draw the attention of my global viewers and audience. Yes, if you want to learn the real definition of leadership and about its work, how it works in your real life, and what exactly the word coaching means, I think Oak is the best coach you can ever go, and kindly connect with him. He's there on LinkedIn, and you can undergo a lot of coachings through him about leadership, about other things which he's doing, and you can make your life really meaningful, successful, and most important, a true leader who is hidden in your personality. So it's the time to take out that leader from your personality. So I really highly recommend Oak. Kindly connect with him and make your life meaningful and a very great one. So, Oak, this is really great. And I really appreciate your practical knowledge about leadership. I mean, there are so many coaches, trainers, mentors who talk about leadership through the religious leadership, through the books and audio. But the true thing which I really love, that you're stating the examples from your own life, and this is called real leadership definition.
Yeah.
So hats off to you with my coffee.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm really, I always tell people that, look, I don't even mention the word theory in my book or in my talk. Look, leadership theory is important, and if you we need to learn that. But that's not what makes you a leader. What makes you a leader is the things you do every day. And so that's what my book and my talk is about. Everyday things that every leader can do to improve their leadership skills and ability, which makes them better to serve the people they have the privilege to lead. And that's what my message is. And I firmly believe that that's the key to leadership, is the simple things that sometimes we forget. Every once in a while we need that little nudge to remind us what we used to do that made us successful as leaders. And so that's what I do in my talk and in my book.
That's great. And I am sure people would love to connect with you, because they don't want to, they don't want to lose a leader like you. And everybody wants to connect and everybody wants to learn from you, because learning is a never ending process. No matter what age you attain, no matter are you a child or a person or a mature person, you have to learn each and every day, each and every moment of your life, and that makes you a great leader. Oh, so this is really great. And moving to our beautiful flow of KUDOS podcast. This is the time where we are talking about leadership and this, but still one round is left, that is called rapid the fire round. And I would love to play with Oak today. So are you ready, Oak, to go for this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. So Oak, I'll be asking a set of questions, and you have to answer promptly for that. All right?
Sounds good.
Which is your favorite coffee?
I like my coffee black, just plain. I don't want anything in it.
Great. Which is your favorite color?
Blue.
Oh, that's nice. Your dream destination?
That's a good one. I've always, surprisingly enough, not just because I'm on your show, my wife and I have always wanted to come to India.
Oh, that's really great. Your role model?
Oh, but yeah, I've got a couple. I mean, Jesus Christ, my Savior. And then probably my biggest role model growing up was my father, obviously. And a close second to him was my basketball coach, Coach Terry Niedzwiecki, in high school.
That's great. Your favorite book?
Oh, my favorite book is On Leadership by John Wooden.
Yeah, I was guessing this can be the only book for you.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not the least, one word for you, Oak.
I would say servant. I've lived my life as far as I can do it, because none of us are perfect, with the mindset of serving other people through high school, through college, through the Army, the food bank, and now I believe service is the key.
Awesome. That's really brilliant. So thank you, Oak, for playing this round brilliantly, and you answered all the questions very great, very promptly, and up to the time. So, and before we say goodbye, Oak, everybody's waiting for your powerful message. Although your every answers were full of powerful messages, but still we want to hear one more powerful message from your side.
Yeah, so I'm a huge believer that we are on this earth to make a difference in people's lives. Goes back to the service part, and I end every one of my talks with this message. As a leader, as a person, but certainly as a leader, you are going to make a difference in somebody's life every day. Why not make a conscious decision to make a positive difference in at least one person's life every day? Imagine how much better our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, our cities, our countries would be if everybody made one positive difference in one person's life every single day. To me, that's huge. And I try to do that every day. I try to, in the Catholic Church, we call that a holy moment. And I try to do that every single day.
Wow. Thank you so much. Million thanks, Oak, for delivering this powerful message. And yes, people can change their life by their correct leadership. And yes, there is again a movement to inspire others, to to motivate others. That's what Oak has done in this podcast. So thank you so much from the bottom core of my heart for transforming millions today by your most powerful, inspiring life journey. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.